Hi, my name's Jordan, and you're watching Gio and Dan.
Someday you'll know. I already know what I'm going to say. I've been feeling this way for far too long.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is part 2 of our fall launch series. We decided to split it up into 2 videos just to kind of try out some of the shorter form videos instead of the 30-40 minute videos that some of them have been in the past. So let me know what you guys think about the shorter form down below. Today I'm just going to show you what other fall products we made. Everything in this video, all of the tutorials, will be linked down in the description box down below to our website where you can get those home decor pieces or get them as a craft kit that you can finish yourself. And if you do that, please send us a finished picture of your product at gioanddan1@gmail.com. We love seeing how you guys take our craft kits and make it into something unique and beautiful, and we want to be able to put it up on our Instagram page. If you would like anything custom made, please email us as well. We love doing custom pieces. You guys, let's get into part 2 of this fall launch. We decided that we wanted to do some smaller home decor pieces because not everybody wants to buy a ginormous piece. So we made these really cute, just simple round signs. So this one says, "Hey boo." This one says, "Trick or treat." And these are 6 inches. And then this one is just a pumpkin. But we are selling them individually. We're also selling them together. So if you want all 3 signs, you do get a little bit of a discount for buying all 3, or you can buy the individual ones that you like. We also made the smaller boho pumpkins that I was talking about in part 1. These are just a smaller version of these ones right here and the ones with the paper that we used. We wanted, again, a smaller option that's a little less expensive as well, but I just wanted to make this more of a farmhousey feel. This probably is one of my favorite pieces out of everything we've made. The garland, the spiderweb garland, was my favorite garland. This is probably my favorite sign that we made. But we just did a simple pumpkin, and I found this cute plaid paper, and I think just the mixture with the light brown frame, it just turned out adorable. I love it. And then I decided to put this lacy string on it. This is one I'm probably going to keep for myself. I keep all of them for myself. I make things that I know I want in my home. We also made these pumpkins that are like the boho ones. Instead of the straight lines, we did a swirly pattern, and these are the big ones. And then last but not least, we made this very, very cute Hey Pumpkin sign. And you guys, I just love it. I love the little pumpkins that we did. And then I decided to put orange on the back so that when it was showing through, it was orange showing through. I just think it turned out beautiful. It was a lot of fun to make. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. I hope you guys enjoy the tutorials and that you'll subscribe and stick around. For this pumpkin sign, I used a matte brown spray paint. Most of my projects I used a spray paint. You can paint with whatever you want to paint with. I traced my pumpkin on the scrapbook paper and then cut out the paper. Make sure that your paper is bigger than the pumpkin because you can always take off the excess. I then used Mod Podge to adhere the paper to the pumpkin. Make sure that your film of Mod Podge is very thin. If you do it too thick, you will end up with bubbles, and you don't want them. I used a vinyl tool to flatten out my paper to make sure all the bubbles were gone, but you can use anything to get those bubbles out. Next, I used a sander just to get the edges of the pumpkin a little more antiqued, and I loved how it turned out. Then you take your sander and go in a downward motion against the top of the pumpkin to get any excess paper off. Then I use super glue to glue it onto the pumpkin and the paper. First into the waves. We were right there in the eye of the storm. I decided I wanted a little bow on it, so I used a lace ribbon, and I made sure to use super glue on the back to make sure that the ribbon didn't come off because the top of the pumpkin stem goes thinner. Again, for this project, I used an orange spray paint that's matte and a black spray paint that is matte as well. And then I took each piece and glued them onto the sign. The nice thing about our craft kits is there are outlines on the base so that you can put the pieces down in the correct spot without having to measure and make sure everything is lined up. It makes it really, really easy and convenient. This sign, we spray painted the pumpkin orange, and then I used dark walnut stain to stain the base piece. You put the stain on and then wipe the excess off. And then I used super glue to glue the pumpkin onto the base. And that was it. It's pretty simple. This 6-inch sign, I used a white matte spray paint for the base. And then I tape down these pieces when I'm spray painting so they don't blow around. But I used a black matte spray paint on those. And then I super glued them down to the base. And that was it. These 3 6-inch signs you can get in a kit together. And it's a little bit cheaper if you buy all 3 together than buying them individually. But you can still buy them individually if you would like. I just wanted to let you know that you can get a discount for buying all 3 together.
To be honest, I got better things to do. To be honest, I don't care that we're old.
Peak it with some wax paint. So this is a wax antique paint. I use the smallest amount. It's called the dry brush method. You just get some on your brush, tap it out, and then I go over all of the areas that I sanded down. So putting the littlest amount on those areas. And then I take my little sander and I am incredibly delicate with it. Make sure you're not pushing down hard while you're sanding it. But I'm just sanding down some of the brown part to kind of blend it in so it doesn't look like brush strokes. It looks more like it's antique. It's rustic. Then I again use super glue to glue it down to the base. You guys, I use super glue on most of my projects. You have to use a very little amount because if it leaks out, that's not a great thing. You can see it. If you're afraid to use super glue, you can use wood glue, which dries clear. There's a ton of other options of things that you can use. I just prefer the super glue. I'm using the rustic orange spray paint again to spray paint this base sign and the Hey Pumpkin. Again, you don't have to use spray paint for these projects. You can use acrylic paint, you can use chalk paint, whatever you like. Then I used an ivory spray paint, which was the gloss for this piece of the project. Then I used dark walnut stain again to stain the Hey Pumpkin that's going to go on the top of this sign. I glued the Hey Pumpkin onto the base part of this part of the sign.
To be honest, I miss you.
Then I used super glue again to glue the ivory part to the orange base. And then I'm gonna super glue the Hey Pumpkin part onto the top of that. And that's it. It makes a gorgeous sign.